So every once in a while, I am so ingrained in this little political atmosphere, whether it be right wing, left wing, I constantly forget that there is just a bunch of normal people that don't think about politics at all. And I mean at all. So it's kind of funny when a non-political YouTuber or something or somebody that I follow ends up doing a relatively political story. Most of them try to shy away from it as much as possible. Literally, it happened twice just this week where all of a sudden they have to put on their political hats, you know, a little bit, because honestly, I understand it from their points of view. You do not want to separate your audience in that way. So, I actually do condone it. Believe it or not, where it's like, yeah, if you guys don't want to talk politics, don't talk politics. However, when one of my favorite shows does decide to talk about a political story, I'm definitely going to cover it. So Coffeezilla on his Voidzilla channel decided to cover the Trump crypto. So let's take a look at what he had to say about that, shall we? Because I'm more interested in hearing what a normie take on things are than somebody that's in the political atmosphere.
Trump coin, aka World Liberty Financial. It's a disaster. They've sold 4% of the tokens after days and days of trying to sell them. Look, I didn't want to do this story. I said, look, we don't do politics on Coffeezilla, which is true. And we never will. But
they kind of are. I mean, just by merit of saying his name, that's doing politics now. Like, how messed up is that? But it's where we are. But it's funny how like people in the right wing sphere don't see it that way, where they'll look at any Trump story and just be like, well, it's still not political because he's not really a politician. We're almost 10 years in and he's still somehow not a politician anymore. What? The man has been the president of the United States of America.
Scam is good on this one, guys. And it's so interesting that I had to talk about it while saying and caveating that this has nothing to do with politics. I don't care what you do. Everybody grifts. It's an equal opportunity thing. So just, relax on that front. I don't want to see political comments. We could start.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I can literally show you the text messages from the Democratic Party where it's insane.
At the announcement of
they
World
hit you
Liberty
up a lot.
Coin. That's where I was going to start. But then I realized really to understand this whole thing, you have to go back to 2021. You have to go back to when Trump first talked about Bitcoin. And it's pretty interesting because now
these are a little harder to react to, where it's just like, okay, you should just go, I'm going to go up top here. Screw it. Pull Hassan.
Oh, he's 100% behind crypto. He's going to, be the crypto first guy. But here's what he said back then.
Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam.
Oh, it was tough for the crypto bros, but they quickly forgave him when Trump started entering the world of crypto with a lot of NFT drops. He's been doing this kind of nonstop. He's done multiple. Now he launched the official Trump digital trading cards, where if you get enough of them, you can have dinner with him.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And get sneakers. You get 2 gold sneakers if you buy 9 digital trading cards for only $1,000 or $900. Now, that's probably where a lot of people's education on the Trump crypto wagon ends, but it's worth stating that his family has also engaged in a lot of crypto stuff. I only mention that because multiple of the family members are listed on this project. So, for example, Barron Trump was allegedly involved in DJT. This coin has since rug pulled, unfortunately, for about $4 to $5 million, depending on your source. There are some insiders in the coin who are very upset that told me that. I myself traced about $3 million, so that number seems about.
And every single one of you that got burned by it deserves it.
All right to me.
I love digital karma, where like the crypto karma is hilarious because all of these guys deserve it. Every single one of you.
So that's
you
bad.
do.
That's bad to be associated with that coin. But then you've also got Donald Trump Jr., who was involved in Restore the Republic. That coin immediately dumped
again,
because basically.
Am I supposed to feel anything but pure elation right now? Because
there was a tweet like, oh, you don't know what the real Trump coin is. That's not the real Trump coin. I don't know exactly what happened here, but basically it sounds like they got involved and then backed up at the last second. pump and dump allegations were made of a few $1 million in that coin too. So basically,
You're telling me that the Trumps are involved in scamming people? No.
it's been
What?
disaster after disaster after NFT drop, leading up to World Liberty Financial. But this has been the promise of the new great thing that was going to be like the Donald Trump coin. Here we go. Here's the pitch.
Big news. The World Liberty Financial token sale is now.
God, I really... Please don't. I don't know. I do not want to see this asshole for 4 more fucking years.
Crypto is the future. Let's embrace this incredible technology and lead the world in digital economy.
Okay, let's embrace it. Let's see what they got. So you go to their website and they ask you, are you a U.S. citizen or not? You click yes or no, and then they have you buying tokens at a set price. This is very strange, very unusual, and to set your own price like this. And it's, I think, because they're grifting, bro. They set their initial price.
What are you talking about? No, they believe in it. What are you talking about? How dare you call it a grift? Guys,
For what they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell $300 million of these tokens off rip. We know that because they have 20 billion coins all selling for $0.015 each. Okay?
Not sure if my mic picked up that whistle.
Now, very few projects ever even reach a valuation of $300 million. So you might be surprised. You might think, well, maybe if their tech's amazing, but for a brand new company to be raising at that price just kind of doesn't make sense. But then you realize it gets...
Yeah. This has been happening a lot. My Kleenex. Yeah, this has been happening for the past few years. I'm actually... Because think of everything that's been overvalued. Twitter's a big one where I still can't believe that they overvalued it for what it was. And then all of a sudden they had shocked Pikachu face when it's like, what do you mean it wasn't worth that? And somehow, some way, it affects the stock market and, our 401ks. That's the stuff that I'm sick of. And that's why I don't feel bad for any of you that play these games with the sole purpose of making yourselves rich and not actually boosting the markets. Double guns to you.
Worse, when you go to their white paper, which they call the gold paper, of course, where they say that they're only selling 35% of the total token supply. So what that means is that it's not actually that they're raising at $300 million. They're actually raising it closer to $1 billion valuation from the start on an unknown project with nobody. What does this project do? Nobody knows. And so immediately, that's one reason that they didn't sell almost any coins. Well, relative to their actual raise. They've so far sold about $13 million of these coins, which, is something. But compared to what they're trying to raise is nothing. And for a Donald Trump, this is the coin thing, it's definitely disappointing, I would think, for them. But then you have, by far, the biggest problem with this whole coin. All the tokens that you're going to buy are non-transferable and locked indefinitely in a wallet or smart contract, which is insane. There's almost no token like this that you can buy.
Hold on, isn't that the antithesis to crypto trading?
All tokens are transferable. And it's not even, what is it if it's not transferable? It just means you can't even sell it.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? It's non-transferable. So I guess they probably did that for SEC reasons. They don't want any SEC problems. But at that point, you're not really selling tokens. You're not selling a crypto as most people understand crypto. It's almost like you're selling... I don't even know.
What are you selling?
You can sell NFTs. This is so weird.
Yeah. That's nothing. There's nothing to it.
And then you go to the actual thing. You go to their team, and you find out that Donald Trump is not even the main guy. This is not, for all the talk about it being his project, it's not his project. They are the ambassadors, which, obviously is just a way to pull away your liability, right? I'm not actually the project itself. They say they're just ambassadors. And if you read the fine print, they have an endorsement deal with World Liberty Financial. And part of that endorsement deal is a 5-year deal where they have to promote it. And if they promote it, they get 75% of all the profits that this whole thing makes. So they make all the profits, basically, most of the profits. But then they actually don't, they don't have a lot of the liability, which, I get why they did that. But if I'm someone looking at this, I'm thinking, oh, no, you're...
Yeah. This is actually a broader point, and he may not make this political, but this is a political show, so I'm not above that. And all I'm going to say is that this goes to show how much Donald Trump thinks of his base. He really does think that you guys are the biggest idiots ever, and that he can grift you guys. And he's right. He knows he's right. That's where I'll give him the credit. He's smart, but you guys are hey, you know what? When you're the victims, again, not going to feel bad. We're all just going to sit here and be like, the ultimate I told you so. But again, you guys don't even want to hear it. You guys are so locked into your little cult that you're going to buy anything this dope sells. So just continue. Give him all your money. Literally, give him all your money and then see how it works out. See, put all of your trust into this man. Come on. Come on, put your money where your mouth is and where your faith is.
Not transferable, raised at like over $1 billion or around $1 billion evaluation, which is insane. Then you've got a project where the guy can just back out after 5 years and is not really even like the guy behind this whole thing. So then you go, well, who is behind this? And so you got to look at their founders. So their founders are a lot of, people I don't recognize on here personally for being crypto people, except for this guy, Chase Hero. Now, if that name is familiar to you, it's because he has been featured on Coffeezilla before.
Yo, Ben,
oh, this guy.
we need some more of these Kobe's.
Yeah.
Please, bro, please. EOD, if possible.
Yep.
Because we have an episode going tomorrow where we talk very highly of Omi, and I wouldn't be surprised if that caused some traction.
Not exactly a great look. Now, besides doing that, Chase Hero, I have come to learn from a fantastic Bloomberg feature article that Chase was also involved with Doe Finance, which got hacked for about $2 million. But probably the best thing you can learn about Chase Hero is kind of what he says himself about marketing, because it'll give you a good idea of what this project is kind of all about.
And you can literally sell shit in a can, wrapped in piss, covered in human skin for $1 billion if the story's right.
Wait, what? Did he just describe?
Again, guys, this is... I love the guys that are in crypto thinking that that's them. That's my favorite part.
Because that's what this is. It's just using a narrative to try to sell something for $1 billion that is garbage.
Oh, God. I miss it's like the .com era thing. At the very end of the .com era, where they were just like, oh, you could get these websites for a penny, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to... It's kind of like playing the stock market, but on, the web. It was so dumb.
So this is the guy that's behind the Donald Trump coin. I mean, the actual co-founder, one of the co-founders, that's what he says. There's a lot of other people involved. But anytime you have a guy like that in your project, it's trouble, at least in my opinion. So when you go down, you kind of figure out how they're structuring some of this stuff. You have DT Marks DeFi LLC, which is sounds
come on, he was driving a sports car. He's got to be legit.
Like the Donald Trump team. And they're going to provide services to World Liberty Financial. In exchange, they're going to get 22 billion World Liberty Financial tokens and a right to receive 75% of the net protocol revenues. So they're basically getting the lion's share of the deal for, endorsing this whole thing. I do have to ask, though, if these tokens are non-transferable, why give them so many tokens? And doesn't that defeat the purpose of this DAO? I mean, actually, to be clear, this thing is explicitly not.
Somehow Pokemon cards they make more sense than this. Like, this is insane.
DAO.
Who the heck is actually buying
this?
But
it's supposedly decentralized, meaning nobody controls it. But they kind of do. You've got the majority of the supply with insiders, or at least a large chunk of it, which means that you will be able to shape the vote. If this token is just about governance of a protocol, you control it from the start. So it's not really decentralized at all.
So it's a dictator coin?
So now,
wait a minute.
It's not transferable.
It's giving the game away, guys.
It's not decentralized. It's overpriced. And it's got people, and I'm talking about all the people we've talked about so far, who have been involved in projects which have been rug pulled, hacked, pump and dumped. It's like the list is terrible. Okay? And that's all before we get to what this project even does. As I said, this is
he's doing a really good job of avoiding the fact that this is just this is what Trump did with all of his other businesses. So, again, I'm not above this. I'm going to constantly remind you that, remember, Donald Trump's not allowed to run a charity in the state of New York anymore. Just remember that. Legally, he can't do that anymore.
Token for a protocol. But what is that protocol? Well, come to find out, it's decentralized lending and borrowing, something that has been around forever. In crypto, there are established, actually decentralized protocols that do it. And when you read closer, it basically looks like they're going to take the tech stack that exists and just copy it. Because World Liberty Financial, this is a proposal on something called Aave, which is the decentralized lending protocol. And they're trying to deploy a World Liberty Financial Aave instance focused on providing stablecoin liquidity for ETH and wrapped Bitcoin and growing the Aave protocol user base. So World Liberty Financial, their big thing, this is what they're pricing at $1 billion, trying to raise $300 million. What they're saying is we're going to bring a few customers to an existing tech that has always like been around and doesn't need help. And make it worse. Like make it less decentralized.
Are you guys seeing this? Like, I'm legitimately confused about this. And I think that I'm mostly confused that even if you're in crypto, doesn't this not make sense to you? Or are you just that like enamored by Donald Trump and the allure that he brings to it that you're just like, yeah, I'm going to knowingly jump into this, even though if this was anybody else, I would avoid this like the plague.
Make it, not be able to sell your tokens. I mean, it is absolutely insane. And look, you might be right to say, like, hey, this just sounds like a complicated way to just accept a lot of donations. Because they did take in $13 million.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you, but there's kind of this weird thing. So this is the weird one. In the paragraph 15, look, I don't mean to be that guy, but paragraph 15 says after...
Why not? I mean, you kind of are that guy. You do investigative journalism about finances. You should probably be able to read legalese.
Payment of pre-launch development and transaction expenses, $30 million of World Liberty Financial Protocol revenues, including token sale proceeds, is expected to be reserved for pay for future World Liberty Financial Protocol operating and other expenses for contingent obligations. So they've earmarked $30 million out the gate. So as like a donation theory thing that kind of shoots that, because it sounds like none of that money is going to go directly to Trump. It's actually going to be set aside for this protocol, if you believe that. That to develop the protocol, which is kind of a fork of a thing. It's fishy for sure. But that's what I'm saying. I was just like, it doesn't even make sense from that angle. This is such a disaster through and through.
Yeah.
That I have noticed recently that this little banner
inspired by Donald Trump.
I hadn't seen that the first time I joined the site. I mean, maybe it was always there. I don't know. It says inspired by Donald Trump. Which sounds like the kind of thing you put on something when you're trying to distance yourself from it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is my project. And then, when it like kind of starts flopping, you go, well, it was inspired by me. It's important that those guys really, took inspiration from my leadership. So it looks like they're probably going to slowly start distancing themselves from that project. I'm sure we won't hear a lot more about it now that there's been such a lukewarm response, and understandably so. It's actually refreshing to see how few people 14 million, but few people relative to the actual pre-sale bought this thing, because
I don't think 13 million bought into it. I think that people, bought into it for $13 million, but hell, that could just be one Logan Paul.
If this thing had sold out, I would have been depressed for a year.
Yeah, same. I mean, that actually would have probably showed me that, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? This election's pretty much over. He does have a huge amount of support in this country still. Like, it's absurd. Like, it's freaking absurd.
No, yeah, that's basically it. That's the rundown on World Liberty Financial.
But that makes me a little bit more skeptical about the whole, he's got a strong strong base of support, blah, 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 blah.
If you want to know more about Chase Hero specifically, Bloomberg did do a great deep dive into him. You can find that here at this article. In fact, you'll even see that we made an appearance in the story. Nice. And yeah, that's basically it.
Nice. That was cool. As I said, it's kind of rare where a YouTuber that I just enjoy, on my own time actually covers a story where I'm like, oh, hey, I can get my teeth into that one. So again, I'm not sure if you've taken this from this video, but I'm not a crypto guy. I did kind of play, like when in the early days of it, I did kind of play around with the idea of getting involved, which I am one of those guys that probably has a Bitcoin wallet somewhere, but maybe not. I don't know, because I lost contact with my buddy that was deeply into it. Have really no interest in getting into contact with him, even though who knows? He didn't have the password for it. So I listen, this is why. But I'm also, don't take my advice on this crap. Like, if you guys are making out on it, fine. But I've seen way too much of it where enough people start saying, "Oh, you need to buy into this. You need to buy into," it turns into the stock market all over again, where I'm just like, no, no, because if this all crashes down, then I'm left holding the bag. So, and their response is, "Yeah, you just got to know when to sell." It's like, dude, I don't know. I'd rather not. So yeah, I guess I'm the ultimate, whatever you call them. I'm so out of. I hate crypto. Crypto bros are such a turnoff, and if you can see the dating pool with that, then you might understand. It's like, yeah, you guys kind of do yourself a disservice, and it's not just to the dating pool; it's just with friends in general. Where it's like, yeah, you guys are whatever. But I would know this. I'm a leftist YouTube commentator, so I got my own little problem there. But whatever. Anyway, if you enjoy my content, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I have memberships available. So if you guys want to join my channel, I have tiered memberships. I also have some super thanks. If you guys are, if you would like to support me and keep me doing this, then yeah, I would appreciate those greatly. So, but with that being said, I will see you in the next one.